Hello, my name is Eric Smythe. I am the future President of the United States of America, or at least a candidate for the United States of America. I'm going to run this through ChatGPT, see what he says. Got it. I'll structure it as if you're preparing for the 2058 presidential run. I'll give you 20 easy surface level questions that reporters, voters, or moderators might ask, followed by 5 extremely difficult, high-pressure questions designed to test your leadership strategy, ability to handle crises. I like how he doesn't notice that there is no 2058 election. That's one of the funniest parts about this. It's 2056 and 2060, but he didn't have time to think. He just assumed there was a election there. Now, hey, maybe they'll change the laws. Maybe we could do two. That might actually be a good. That might actually be a good change. I'll drop it to 2 years max. 2 terms max. But then we have a 2-year political election cycle. But hey, whatever, man. Let's continue. Got it. I'll structure this. Okay, here we go. 20 easy questions here. Image building and personal branding. I like this. So I'm just going to pray really quick. I haven't read any of these. I haven't looked ahead. Trust me. Dear God, thank you for this day. Lord, help me be honest and chaste and virtuous and loving, and help me broadcast maybe not the innermost chambers of my heart, but close to it. Help me be funny at times. Help me use swearing at times if it's need be. Or just be extremely clean, funny, spirit-filled, loving. Help me with the second greatest commandment. And help me help the video watchers. In Jesus' name, amen. So, as you guys can see, I'm very religious. I'm very prayer. That was a prayer there. It was a classical kind of LDS formatted ask thee, thank thee. Start with number 1. Why do you want to run for president in 2058? That's a really good question. So it actually was 2032. I'm not going to look ahead. You guys are going to have to trust me. Here, I'll go like this. You guys are going to have to trust me that I'm not. Well, actually, or do you guys want to look ahead? The people in the. No, I'll just go. We can find out what the next question is together. Because I don't want you guys thinking ahead and moving ahead. We'll move ahead together. And this video is for Kyle, because I know Kyle is definitely one person who will watch this. But I don't get a lot of views on my videos, but it depends on the channel and stuff. But why do you want to run for president in 2058? Yeah, so here's the thing. I got the presidential calling when I was... my friend Philip said he wanted to run, but he thought he had too much baggage in the past that they could bring up, and he just didn't want to deal with all that. But he was a very political dude. He's always looked up to me. I'm the only virgin he knows, I'm pretty sure. And he wanted to... and actually, and I don't know why I want to say this. Well... let me think if I want to say this or not. I'm not going to say it. I hope it doesn't hurt the video. Proverbs 12:23, it says that prudent man conceals knowledge. So I don't want to say it. Let's continue. Heath always thought I'd be a great president. I'm going to get some water as I do this. I'm recording here on my phone so I can walk around here, but... I was on this table right here, and I get this thought: President of the United States of America, President. It was like an epiphany, and I said, "Whoa, that's like really cool." And then, bam, my phone rings. It was this phone, and it was Philip, the exact guy who said he wanted me to be president. So I picked up the phone. And I just told him, "Hey, Philip," and he was already in a great mood. And I said, "Hey, yo," and I was like ecstatic. I was thrilled. I was filled with energy. I said president 2032. And he was like, yes, yes, yes. And he was with his girlfriend. He said, babe, Eric should be president. Eric should run president. Yes. And she's like pregnant with his second baby, and she thought he was crazy. And, you know, I'm not in politics or whatever. I was recently at anyways. I thought that, anyways. So I feel like I was called from there. I eventually told my dad, and he said, President, you can't even clean your room. Okay. I told my friends that, and they started busting up laughing. My mom says, Eric, you're crazy, you know. And then I started thinking about it more. I remember going outside. I was praying about it a lot. And I was thinking how I was going to do this. I decided to move the date back. And anyways, there's a lot going on here, but I remember just praying about it. Then I started looking it up, and why do you want to run for president? Yeah, so it really, what inspired me was Joe Biden. Joe Rogan said on the podcast, he's like, this guy's obviously not running the country. He doesn't even, he could barely even talk. And I agree. We've had some talented presidents in the past. But the bar was set so low with Biden. And I think there should be more people running anyway. The 3 requirements to be president. Some people don't even know this. 35 years old. Born in the U.S. And then live here for 21 years. And the requirements are that easy because the Founding Fathers wanted variety. And they wanted us. But the main reason is because I think God wants me to. I am a bipolar schizophrenic, and I was in the hospital. And I was praying a lot and stuff. But I actually started to feel a lot better from the hospital zones as I started to fantasize about being president. And I started managing the power that the president has, especially, the president has a lot of power. And you can help a lot of people from that place, from that political position. And in my mind, I started doing really nice things to people, and I started making the country a better place, and I started fantasizing about so many things. There was a Ben Carson book in the hospital that I read some of it. And I just thought about president. And it just made me feel better and better and better. Anyway, I went through all that. Okay. But this is actually a great question. Why do you want to run for president? Donald Trump is the president right now. I'm not going to be studying politics. I think it's very stressful. It's very hard to... I don't want to be a politician. I'm not running as a politician. I want to run as I guess you could say, as a priest. As a priest in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm a Mormon. I'm a Latter-day Saint. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I am running as a not to hype myself up too much, but an Aaronic priest. And I'm also a bowler. That's very good. I have 7 perfect games, sanctioned, USBC, verified. Only 1 in 10,000 people in the world have that and can do it. I'm very good at Guitar Hero and Tetris, and I have a lot of evidence for that stuff. I'm just a cool guy. I'm not I have some great ideas for the country. I made a Monopoly mod where I fixed the game of Monopoly, because the game of Monopoly is a trash game. But if you're a little kid and you're learning the rules and you're rolling dice and you don't know what the next rule is, because you're a little kid, you're 5 years old. Whoa, there's properties and you build. Yeah, it's a complex game if you're a little kid. But as you get older, Bobby Fischer was hyper schizo. But also the best chess player in the world and probably the best player of all time when he's on his A game. But he had some psychotic, demonic, whatever. He thought the Russians were after him, and, you know, he's got his issues, let's say. I'm the same way, but I'm not quite as good as chess. But I have a lot of the same stuff. I got meds, and I've been to the hospital many times. I'm crazy. I'm a little bit crazy. But yet I'm not crazy at all. I'm actually I'm a high functioning, I'm a autism spectrum called Asperger's. And what's cool is I'm actually going to be running as a Democrat. Right now I'm a registered Republican. I started off as a Democrat. I actually voted for Obama in 2008 as a 17-year-old in a mock election. The Holy Spirit told me to vote McCain, but I wasn't 100% sure it was the Holy Spirit. But I was pretty sure. Like, I was being nudged to McCain. I had no idea who McCain was. But all I knew is my parents were voting for Obama. How could they be wrong? Obama was this pretty good-looking half-black dude and Democrat, and Democrats for the poor. And I was very, very naked politically as a 17-year-old. And I was basically not brainwashed, but brainwashed a little bit towards the left. And it was very interesting, but I circled Obama because it was still my choice. And I remember going to church, and I believe it was, anyways, it was Obama McCain. I don't know the pastor or the church name or anything. It was in Deep Livermore, somewhere here. But I go to the pastor, and I'm assuming the pastor's going to go Obama. I thought it was going to be just this landslide Obama. Everyone's Obama. And I said, it's California too. And I said, just, hey, what do you think, Obama or McCain? And right away he says, McCain. Like that. And I said, really? I didn't know anything. Really? Huh. Well, anyways. To this day, I really don't know that much about politics. But I do know a lot about the Bible. And I know a lot about God. Why do you want to run for president in 2058? The bar's been set low. I feel like I'm called by God. I feel like I can help the country a lot. And I feel like I can help the system. Donald Trump's doing the best he can. He wanted to drain the swamp. I'm literally going to drain the swamp by getting the American people in on it. I'm a very suggestible person. If you tell me apples are better than oranges every day for a year, eventually I'll believe it. Even if I'm pretty sure that oranges are better than apples, I'll believe it. And I remember clicking on YouTube videos and losing my testimony of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from a single YouTube video. Oh, this guy presented some evidence. He destroyed my religion. Oh, and then this guy's 100% sure that the Mormon Church is false. And then I'll go to the next video. Eventually I'll click on a video. I'll start doubting my doubts or whatever, but I'm very suggestible. I'll go to church, and it's interesting, right? But a lot of the presidential candidates, they don't really have any big ideas. Andrew Yang, I take inspiration from him. He was pro-choice. I'm going to be pro-life. That is my objective policy. And then everything else is subjective, and there's different weights of subjectivity. But I don't want to have any pull on even my own policies. That's what's going to be very unique about me. I'm going to be a very humble, suggestible president. I'm going to be the Pontius Pilate president on all the issues outside of pro-life. I'll die on that hill for the pro-life thing. And my thing with the pro-life is, yes, there's ectopic pregnancies, and of course, that, and the way the law is written, no, it's ectopic pregnancy. I just want abortion to be illegal. That's my thing. And then I have some ideas with UBI, but I don't want to have. Well, first of all, I definitely want to stack it on top of disability, welfare, and food stamps. I like the food stamps a lot. I'm actually on food stamps, and I feel the love from the government. And I think the UBI, if we could just do $100 a month, it would go a long way. And people would start asking for more. And if everyone gets it, no one's getting ripped off. Other countries have tried it, and it works really well. So I keep forgetting. There's always this one policy that I think of that I like more than the micro UBI, but in my head, I just have it set up pro-life and then micro UBI. Oh yeah, the dynamic cabinet is the best. So I'm going to start off with a cabinet that I think is kind of diverse. A bunch of pro-lifers who love. They're pro-lifers and they love God. And that's where I'm going to start off. And then I'm going to start letting the American people send me the people that they vote into my cabinet every month. And they're going to be, they could be anyone. It could be anyone. They could be pro-choice. They could be atheist or satanic, or it could be literally anyone. Then they fit into my cabinet. It could be a great guy, but I would like, I could suggest, hey, how about a teacher? How about your favorite 7th grade teacher, your favorite high school teacher? Send them into my cabinet, and we can all pray together, and they'll affect the rest of my cabinet. And then I also want to have videos, like entertaining videos, and AI videos are going to be so extreme by that time. People are going to be making fake videos, but we are going to make videos about us discussing policies and stuff, and the American people will get to see what we're talking about. You know who would be great? Let's send him an MMA guy, and then the American people debate on who to send into the dynamic cabinet. But the way it works is the American people, through some Twitter poll or whatever, they pick 100, and then the top 100 picks we go into a second poll, and then everyone can pick out of the 100. And then the top 2, they do a Rochambeau, or we could debate. They could debate each other, a impromptu debate, and whoever wants it gets it. And then whoever wins that little debate, we could have a third vote on who wins that debate. And then that person goes into my cabinet, and they're going to be in my cabinet for at least a month. But I want to also vote people out of the cabinet, like Survivor. But the American people can vote them out. And by the end of 15 months, my entire cabinet's gone or whatever. And I have a whole new cabinet built by the American people. And I'm extremely suggestible, and I look up to the cabinet. Because I don't even know anything about politics. I just know a lot about God and the Bible, and I have the chapter and verse, on the top of my head. So I'm going to whip out the chapter and verse. I'm going to use a lot of sarcasm, a lot of jokes. And I have a very clean history, but I want to start. There's going to be a lot of fake news and stuff. And what's interesting about me is I'll actually start a rumor about myself. So I'll start rumors about myself, and there's lots of jokes, lots of kidding, bit of a righteous jesting, and a lot of parables. I like to use the word not. Not is K-N-O-T, which is esoteric multiplex, and that purifies the sentence. It helps a lot of things. It was actually created in 1951 in Alice in Wonderland, the caterpillar. But I'm really hyped up about this calling because it pays well, $400,000 a year. That's a lot of money for me. I get to sleep. I get to be in a nice little white house, and I like it when the house is white like that. So I like to be in there, and that's free rent, and I like free rent. I love free rent. So I grew up with that free rent, My dad charged. Tried to charge me rent, and we tried that for a little bit. I gave him, but I feel the love of my dad and the rent, and I just love my dad, and my dad loves me so much. My dad said his favorite day of his life was when I was born, but my dad, he doesn't think I could do it. I think, well, I know what I'm called to do, and 2050, my dad's 72, so in 30 years I'll be 60. 2030, that's what are we, 20, so that 2055, he's long and gone, he's dead. My mom's dead, she doesn't believe in me either. Well, once they're dead, there's no one left to doubt me. I've only met one person in real life, really, that said I couldn't do it. And the guy, I talked to him for 3 hours, he was my buddy, and he said, you couldn't even run this casino. They wouldn't let you, let alone the president. I said, I appreciate that. But everyone else immediately, I'd vote for you. Before I even know the policies, I'd vote for you. Oh, yep. Please. It's like everyone is so pissed off with and I just want to be, Ron Paul was a breath of fresh air. The dumbest thing he ever did was attack the money, the Federal Reserve. And he knew better, too. I was like, dude, guys, so I just want to let everyone know, the money people, I don't want your money. I just want a little bit of it to be given to the American people through UBI. Oh yeah, Mark of the Beast. That was maybe my number 2 policy. I think I could win a lot of religious votes. I'm already going to get all the religion votes. The hard one is to convince a pro-choicer, a hard pro-choicer, that to give me their vote over the pro-choice people, because I'm going to run as a Democrat. I'm going to be the only pro-life Democrat there, but I'm going to say I'm pro-life, but I'm going to give you a bunch of money through UBI. But I'm going to have a dynamic cabinet. And there are some people who are Democrat because the Democrat Party has a lot of good stuff going for them. But there are Democrats who are pro-life, but they stick with their party. And I'm going to at least be a pro-life potential. If people wants to stay Democrat, I'm going to switch over to Democrat when the time is right. Lord willing. Right now I'm a Republican because the pro-life position. But it doesn't matter what your affiliation is. You can vote for whoever you want. Well, guess what? I vote for Jesus Christ. And we are going to get to the second question here, but this is a really big one. Why do you want to run for president? It's not for the $400,000. It's not for the free rent. It's because I feel called. I feel ready. I'm overqualified already. I'm 33, so I technically, when you want to define it technically, I could run in 2028. Technically, and I would be overqualified for that position. But there's a lot of boomers out there. I think it'd be hard to win the boomer vote. They're not going to get my jokes. They're not going to get the thing. Let the boomers die. Give me Gen Z. Give me Gen A. Give me Gen B. These guys are going to be brilliant. It's a brilliant generation coming up, but they're brilliant through games. They're brilliant through TikTok. They're brilliant through all that stuff. Okay? And I need to stay on top of the humor meta, sarcasm meta, internet meta, and the Lord will give me jokes, and I want to have righteous jokes and some unrighteous jokes too, and the righteous are not going to like it, but I'm not going to be squeaky clean. I'm going to be fake wicked, because I need to get the wicked votes. I'm going to tell the righteous, the very righteous, to vote for Jesus Christ, and I want to have hundreds of thousands of votes for Jesus Christ. But people who don't get it will end up voting for me. And they'll have their little reasons, or people who can pray, and they're going to write me in. I'm honored. Thank you. I'm not going to be voting for myself. I'm voting for Jesus Christ every single time. I will not be voting for myself. I'll be voting for Jesus Christ. But if I lose, it will be a massive win, because somebody somewhere maybe can pick up my ideas, I could get all those interviews, and I'm going to be testifying of Christ along the way in the Bible, and it's a mini ministry too. It's a way to get the cameras on me. And I don't want their money. I don't want the money. It's going to be grassroots. The internet is so incredible in this world. And I don't want donations of money. I want people to share my link on Facebook. I want you to share my link on whatever you guys you'd use. YouTube. Share my YouTube links. Okay? Make America pro-life again. Strictly pro-life. Make America pro-life again. You can't even spell America without Eric. You guys. It's been me from the beginning. You guys do realize my name in the baby book means king? You guys do realize that I was breastfed as a baby by one of the most beautiful women in the world? I've had this calling for a long time. I just got a patriarchal blessing. It's very long. You know, Donald Trump, I love the guy. Ever since his ear got shot off, the Holy Spirit has been telling me he loves Donald Trump so much. And it's like, it's not just the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit really is a lover. But God the Father and Jesus Christ too love the guy. And I have a hard time even making fun of him as a joke. He's such a sweetheart now. Back in the day, okay, he does a lot of self-parody. George Bush was brilliant with the sandbagging, and I'm gonna pretend like I'm did. The guy was a freaking genius. Just look at him when he walks into the house, and he would pretend like he was dumb so that when he actually said something dumb, it's all part of the show. He'd say dumb stuff on purpose. That's what I'm going to be like too. I'm going to have different talks for different flocks, but there's always going to be a camera, and I'm going to let people take me out of context, and I'm going to give sound bites. If you got a business, that you didn't build that. But Obama was just saying that. I'm going to say it on purpose. I'm going to plan those misspeaks. You know? Who is that guy who would get the touchdowns and do all those dancing and celebrations? He planned a lot of those celebrations. It seemed, he just made that up. Oh, look how, that was an interesting one. He's using the football as a row your boat. It's funny. You know? That there may or may not be new dance moves created based on me and all that stuff. There are so many people in this country who vote based on who they hate more. Oh, I hate this guy so much, and I hate this and this and this and this, and I pick them apart, pick, rip, dippity, dip, and I hate him. So I'm going to vote for the other guy. Or I'm not going to vote. Interesting, huh? I want to let the American people know, listen, whether you're righteous or unrighteous, you're probably going to love me and hate me. If you're righteous, you're going to, you know, Trump, he said a swear word. He said, I don't give a F, but the righteous were quick to forgive, and that's what's going to happen to me. Because I'm going to say swear words, and the righteous, hey, could you cut back on the swear words? Of course I could. I'm not talking to the righteous. I'm talking to America. I'm not at church. This is a political pulpit, not a religious pulpit. The religious people don't get voted for it. We've already sent in. I mean, Romney, he's too clean. He's never going to drop an F-bomb. I'll do it. You know, I could pretend to be wicked. You know, I got this. The people, they don't trust him. He's too clean. They think the LDS church. You know what Romney's problem was? He had a covenant of consecration, and he merged himself to, you know, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is just mobbed with fog and all this false, you know, information and just wicked rumors about him. And now you're going to merge with that church, and now you have to listen to what Nelson says, and you have these vows that have been leaked and all this, and you sold your soul to the church. And well, guess what, guys? I didn't do that. I didn't make those covenants. I have my baptismal covenants. You know, stay away from the whole denying Christ thing. That's a big one. And then you know what the other one is? Keep the commandments. You know what the commandments are? Read the Bible. Find it out. You know what the 10 commandments are? How many of the 10 commandments can you guys name? Kamala Harris, she recently, such a sweetie, that one. She's such a sweetheart. I'm going to do what Donald Trump does. I'm going to tear down my opponents and all that. And I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. But here's the thing. My opponents, they're all bought and paid for by banks, by the highest bidder, and who knows who. But they got strings, and they get to that position by doing whatever. I'm bought and paid for by the American people, by the second greatest commandment, by the Bible, and by the God that I believe in, the God that I worship, the God that I believe in. I'm going for brownie points. I'm thinking about the next life. This life, yes. Next life, yes. I want to be king. I want to be a king in the next life in another world. And God's thinking, king in another world? You can't even clean your room. You can't even be president of the United States of America in the land of the free and the home of the brave, and you know dang well you're over 35 years old. Do you know how many people want to be king in the world that you want to be king in? You want me to create a video? You want me to create a video game and then you could be a king in the video game? Because I could do that. Everyone's a king in that game. Everyone in heaven. But if you want to be the actual king, and everyone looks up to you as an actual king, not just a king in a video game, but an actual king, then you have to earn it somehow. You have to be king worthy. And I just saw what you did on earth. Yes, you prayed a lot. Yes, you read the Bible. That's great. But being king up here is a lot harder than being king down there. And I don't think you could even handle being king down there. And now I have to look to God and say, okay, well, I don't want to be king up there. Or I bite the bullet and I say, okay, I'll be king down here. And then I'll have a 1 in 6 chance to be king up there. Does that make sense? Because certain thrones are unearned and certain thrones are earned. If you want to be God's best friend and you want to get that badge, you got to earn it. By doing what? Being his best friend. Being friend worthy. John 15:14, ye are my friends if you do as I command. Obedience scales with friendship. God is a dictator. There's some truth to that. He's a king. There's more truth to that. He's a friend. Even more truth. Can you hurt your friendship with God? Absolutely. 2 Chronicles 15:1-2. You can hurt your relationship with God through sin and through iniquity, disobedience, through bad things. God gave us a conscience, and he gives us a spiritual guide. Right here we have Hindus. Just moved in. Yeah, I'm playing the long game with them. He's a lukewarm Hindu. He doesn't really even know anything about Hinduism. To be fair, neither do I. I don't know much about that religion. I know they got a Krishna. I know they got a lot of gods. I know they have a high view of animals. And they have no problem with Jesus, but they he's not, they have a low, very, very, very low view of Jesus. But I'm trying to do something. I don't know. I keep forgetting the guy's name. The guy's name is so long. But anyway, they're out here playing soccer. And it's a beautiful place. I have a high view of the Constitution. I do not have it entirely memorized yet. But I have a lot of years to study that Constitution. The ones that are really important, and everyone knows this, is the First and Second Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of guns. I don't own a gun, but I believe that I have the right to. And when I was in the hospital, they said, will you sign this that you will never own a gun? I think it was until, I don't know, it might have been 2020 or something. Or 20, I don't know, it was a few, something amount of years or something. Anyway, I signed it. I was like, okay. It wasn't for life. But they're like, we don't want you to own a gun because you might get hurt. I got diagnosed with bipolar 1 with psychotic features. And they were thinking about going schizophrenia. But my mom was bipolar. But basically, I don't own a gun, but I believe that I definitely have the right to. I should have the right to. And if I don't, I definitely want to express the fact that it would be nice if I could. I understand there are some great countries in the world, and you don't really get the gun rights. I get that, and they survive, and it works out. But we can't. It's nice to have the American people with guns. If you ban guns, a lot of bad things happen, and I've looked into that. There's this problem with the unrighteous. They break the law and they get the guns anyway. And plus, there's already a bunch of guns out there. But I like the guns. I like having them. The righteous, they have a conscience, and the unrighteous, like I said, they're gonna get the guns. And there's always that. There's always. I like having a. I like having a 350 plus million people with these little guns. There's so many studies about it. Anyways, I don't want to talk about the Second Amendment right now. First Amendment, freedom of speech, fantastic. That's what's important. We have a lot of freedom of speech. But let's go back to these questions. Why do you want to run for president in 2058? I want to make the world a better place. I want to stack up a bunch of second-grade command points. I want to earn a lot of my glory. And I want to be able to take my experience into the next world and try to rule that world. And it'll probably be easier in a lot of ways and harder in a lot of ways. But I want to divvy out a lot of my responsibilities. I want to save babies. And I think abortion's disgusting. I think it's overrated. I think the unrighteous and the wicked regret it later in life. It's worse than tattoos as far as regretting rates. People don't regret their tattoos even if they're really bad. I was actually at the casino and I saw this guy who was definitely not a Christian, and he had a lot of kind of gross tattoos. And I told him, you're not a Christian, but you will be one day. And you're going to regret all these tattoos. And I told him, don't regret them. And he says, okay. And I said, here's what I want you to do. You're going to take every single tattoo you have. And I started, one of them was like a guitar and stuff. And I said, you're going to assign these to Bible verses. And these are all going to be figurative. And you're going to say, this one reminds me of Psalm, chapter, 50, 52, and about the harps, and, or a verse about the harps. And this one gets me fired up about the fifth fruit of the Spirit. And this one gets me fired up about the singing for God. And it's all going to be figurative, and they're all going to be righteous tattoos because you're going to change the meaning. And when you originally got the tattoo, it meant this, but now it doesn't mean that anymore. Now that I came to Christ, I prayed for each one of these tattoos. I said, do not pay for tattoo removal. Do not get tattoo removal. It's time to redefine all these tattoos. He says, thank you. I said, no problem. And then I left him. And that was my blessing to him. People, they say, oh, these tattoos. No, they're battle scars. These are good. Now, if you're talking to a small child and the small child's thinking about getting tattoos, you can tell them the whole thing, or you could tell them, the thing is, it was good advice. I want to give out good advice. Why do you want to run for president? It's just such a great question. Why? If we had a bunch of, I'll just say it how it is, guys who are if we had a variety pack up there, if we had a 5,000 man wait list, if everyone wanted that political seed, and it was a fiery, high variety, high quality, high IQ, just a fest of, the best of the best, then yeah, I wouldn't want to be president in that situation. But right now, I just see a basically bank-owned, money-mobbed monopoly on congressmen. And there's a lot of gross stuff going on. And there's just bought and paid for puppets. And I said, okay, well, I could beat them. I'll just drive through innocently. like a dove. Wise as a serpent, innocent as a dove. Matthew 10:16. And people are going to recognize I'm a real person, just like they recognize Donald Trump was a real person. The only reason why Donald Trump got in is because he had $1 billion. He was able to buy up, seats and spots, and he started as a bit of a joke, but a clean joke and a good joke. And I'm serious too. He ran as an independent, but then he decided, I'm going to win. And I'm going to win, and then fake news, and he exposed everyone. He did great. I voted for him. The last election cycle, I voted for Jesus Christ, and that's who I'm going to vote for every single time rest of my life, unless the Holy Spirit tells me something in real time or something. The future is always open. I'm an open theist. I believe that God has an infinite understanding of the future, but I don't believe that everything is locked in stone. I think that some things are maybe more stony than others. Like if God told me today or tomorrow, hey, president, let's go, president, and then I was okay, and then I tell the world, hey, God told me 100%, this, and then a few things happen, and my attitude changes, and I click on a video that's talking about North Korea, and then I click this, and then I pray, and then I start crying, and then I really don't want to do it anymore. Well, does God want me to do something that I don't want to do? I believe God could change his mind. And that's basically the open theist position. It's a very minority position. But it's an A theory of time. God changes his mind in real time. Prophecies are conditional. But my second big policy is the Mark of the Beast Act, where I'm going to shut down the Mark of the Beast, and I'm going to make it illegal for the government in America. You could do it in other countries, but in America, we're not going to be putting those chips in the right hands and the foreheads, and it'll be I'll have my religious reasons. No hands, no foreheads for chips and for external objects and stuff like that. I don't want to get us chipped while I'm running, and it'll be a little executive order. I don't want to have that as a vote. I also don't want the nuclear codes. I'm going to give that to my VP, and he can do the nuclear codes. Because I don't want American people to freak out. And I don't want to get in a mood where I just go in a mood swing and just launch a nuke. I don't want to do that either. If I'm in a very nukey mood, I don't want to launch a nuke, but I also want I don't want the rest of the world to find out that I'm incapable of launching a nuke. So I'm gonna say, oh no, my VP, he's even more righteous than me, and he'll do it, and then he'll yeah, I'll do it. But in America, it's just that one button, that one dude gets to launch it. In other countries, everyone has to sign on. Yeah, we're doing it, and I think that's interesting. But yeah, I feel good fantasizing about it. I know, and every person I've talked to, outside of his name's Jeff, Jeff, my mom and my dad. Those are the three people I've met that say. But I've talked to groups of 8 people. I just walk up to 8 people. Hey, I'm going to be president, and then they're like, hey, vote for you. I just win their hearts immediately. And I just think, give me some cameras. Andrew Yang was exciting because of his policies, but he had really boring answers, took really creative questions, which kind of turned me off. And it kind of what's going on with this guy? He didn't wear a tie to a debate, and he memorized a decent little bit, but he kept bringing it up, and people were making fun of him. And he was pro-choice, so he was kind of ugh. But they said, Yang Gang, and he was like 1% of the vote, and I watched him for a little bit. Politics can be kind of exciting, but my plan is maybe I'll make a new YouTube channel, but I want to do political debate review, and I want to have and I want to expose, or not expose, but like react to people, and I just want to get in there as a candidate, and I want to get all these ideas out there. Where are you getting these ideas from? Well, I thought about it, you know, and when these new questions come up, and I have a faculty in me, I have the ability to think. I'm not just going to beat them. I'm not just going to learn how to beat them. I'm going to learn how to outthink them. And also, I'm a very good chess player. I won a chess tournament with all the other little kids. My dad beat me 26 times in a row when I was a little kid. Finally, he messed up and he hung a queen or a bishop, and he goes, "Oh, that's okay, I'll still win." He's 7 years old. And he already taught me how to mate with a rook and a king. And that's exactly what I did. I got down to a rook and a king, and he had a king. And I checkmated him, and he was so proud of me, even though he made that the blunder. It was pretty cool, because I'm thinking, I legitimately beat my dad. And my dad won a tournament in Spain when he was younger. He was the fifth best. It was an 8-person club, but he was the fifth best or something. I was talking about it, fifth, sixth, maybe fourth. But they slowed down the time control, and he won. I'm not gonna say he won every game, but he took first place in the tournament. They did like a round robin, so he's good. I mean, he's like a good player. But he put me through Berkeley Chess School. It's one of the best chess schools in the country. I didn't even realize that till I got out. You do realize this is one of the best chess schools in the country. We had the second smartest geography B kid. I went 4-0 in intermediate, and then I went 2-2 in the advanced. Those were rated games, and I would memorize. One of the games I memorized my game when I was doing outpatient. But I have a very innocent record and stuff like that. But I also want people to think that I have, a lot of politicians, they're wicked guys. They're just wicked. And they're deeply wicked. They fornicate, and they do a lot of drugs, and I don't know, whatever. They're just they're into money and power and the power puppets. And they're, oh yeah, I'll take this bribe, and I'll sign this, and I'll do this for you if you do this for me. And they are trying to help the country too. They think they're better than their political opponents, but they've been in Congress, and they're doing this, and they have these passionate views. For me, I'm passionate about God. I love the Lord. I love the Bible. I love religion. I've been studying religion day and night for about, 3 to 5, 8 hours a day. And a lot of anti-Mormons, I call them critics of the church. I study them. And that's all I've done the last 10 years, is just Mormonism and play video games while I watch people tear down my religion, because it was very entertaining. But the Book of Mormon is like very powerful. It's very powerful. It's bulletproof, and the church is very good. I feel the Spirit there, and it brings me closer to the Lord. And no matter what people say, it's like I go there, but we have flaws, we have flaws in the. Everyone has flaws everywhere, and it's one of the reasons that keeps me. I stay in the church is, it is the highest quality church. Even if I find a mistake or two, where am I going to go that's better? I can't find a better church on this earth. It's the best church on earth, and plus I'm already a member, so. But I remember I just joined the church. Sister Poulter wanted me to get baptized, and I need to get baptized somewhere. But I've had this nice little run with the church and with the Lord, and we're gonna make a presidential run. And my plan, there's short term and long term, macro, micro. Making videos like this definitely is gonna help people. Hopefully it stays up on YouTube, but like 30 years from now, they can come back and watch these videos, see what I was thinking back then. They can follow my journey up, because there's the uninformed vote, and then there's the informed vote. But I want to be the Democratic presidential nominee, and then I want to lose to the Republican who's pro-life, and he can run the country, and I get all my ideas out there. But it's going to be positive stress, and there's nothing physical that can happen that's going to stress me out more than what I've gone through in the hospital and jail. And I was thrown into jail because they thought I was on drugs, because I was doing a trip. I was tripping out, and I was thrown into jail for no reason, and that was terrifying. But I was going through some trips. I went through multiple trips, basically, and schizophrenic trips, and I was praying for Joseph Smith and praying if he's a true prophet. I just kept praying over and over again. The anti-Mormon was toxic and was ripping into me, but the Lord wanted me to get closer to him, and this journey was great. But Joseph Smith, it's a guy, when you want to define him technically, you have to take somebody's word for it at some point somewhere, or you can find him through his fruits, which is the prophets we have today, the church we have today, and the Book of Mormon. And then you can reverse engineer him. But as far as Russell M. Nelson, the objective president of the church, the prophet, you can just look at him, listen to him, whatever, and then, or you could go, listen to people on the internet. I don't know. But I would say go, make your own decision, do your own research, but take it with a grain. And asking, if you want to be if you're thinking about being Jehovah's Witness, ask them, hey, what do you guys believe? Ask them, maybe not the internet. But that was one of my brother's ex-girlfriends. I was talking to her about it. She's like, well, why don't you ask Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints all these questions instead of watching the internet? And I probably spent more time, on the garbage side of the internet with researching them instead of going on churchofjesuschrist.org and reading the official doctrine. That's probably what I should have done more. But I did read the entire Book of Mormon. That is a feat. That's 521 pages. And I've read the New Testament. Not a big fan of the Old Testament. But anyways, there's a lot of political stuff going on. And my cabinet is going to have some strong feelings towards things that I don't really care about. Whether it's a money thing or a bridge over here and this. It's like, guys, I'll pray for it. I'll ask God. But I'll sign what you want me to sign, just like Biden did. And I'll give talks. You guys can write, if you guys want to help me write a speech. I'll say anything within reason, and we could throw in jokes. I want to be funny. Now, Biden was funny, but for the wrong reasons. I want to be actual funny. And I want to have jokes, and I want to do my best. And I want to have every good and perfect joke comes from God. So I think we hit a home run on that one. Why do you want to run for president? Second greatest commandment, first greatest commandment. I love God and I love this country. And I love this country because it's love worthy. Sure, we produce a lot of pornography. That is a problem in my worldview. But the freedom of speech, man, and the freedom of expression, the freedom of the guns. I've been to Mexico, man, and you come out of a boat and there's this guy holding an AK-47 and he's acting like, oh, hey, what's up? And he's like, yeah, what? And then you go over here and the place is a mess. It's like, okay, we're just visiting, right? Oh, this is wild. Something's going on here. And then we get back on the cruise and free food and basketball up here, ping pong, and okay, we're back in America. Thank God that's over with. We call that a vacation. Let's go to a country, for the beach. We have a beach here. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. We have like a carnival. It's like this whole idea that we're gonna travel somewhere. But I'll tell you this though. It is an intimacy thing. It's hard. It's weird because it's interesting. I have seen Charlie Kirk rip some people to pieces with the whole, oh, you want to leave the country? Great. Where are you going to go? I don't know. Yeah, you're just a hater. You don't even know what you're talking about. And Charlie Kirk has obviously done his research and he's seen the other countries and stuff. But I understand, if you're born in Switzerland or Germany. I was at Dublin Bowl, there was these 6 13-year-olds. It was 14, 13, 13, 12, 12, 11, But they're all about the same age. And I went up to them, and it was the president thing, and I said, which person in the group here is most likely to be president of the United States? Now, what I didn't realize is they were from Germany. So they all said that. Oh, we can't run for president here. We're visiting from Germany. And I said, oh, got him. I said, guess what, guys? America's better than Germany, isn't it? Otherwise, you wouldn't be visiting. Great thing that you got out of that place, and now you're in the great place. You know, you saved up some money to go to the good country. And they said, and I said, I mean, what do you like more, Germany or U.S., if you had to pick? And they all said, I think I like Germany more. And I was like, what? But the thing is, they're biased because they were born in Germany. You see? So, I want to be honest with the American people. Yes, I think America is the best, but I was born here. So, I have a natural... I remember when I was in... I don't know if it was first grade, second grade, third grade, or fourth grade, or maybe fifth grade. Probably not fifth grade. No, it wasn't fifth grade. First, second, third, or fourth, I would say. So I'm 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 years old, and I'm sitting in... There was this amazing song, Proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free, and it's the only... it's the only song that chokes me up and gets me. There are worship music songs dedicated to God that don't choke me up. You know? Proud to be an American. It's amazing. So I always get the chills there. I love it. 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 Love it. I love it. I love it. I'm also in a nice city. But my mom lives in Stockton, which is the third most dangerous city in the U.S., and it's really not that bad. I go up there, we hear some gunshots every once in a while, but it's like, okay, we have police. Like if someone tried to rob us right now, we'd call the cops and they would get wrecked. Like in Mexico, no, there's not like a cop that you can snap, get over here right now. It's dangerous compared to other cities in the U.S., but it's not dangerous. It's not dangerous. Lock your doors. Yes. I'm here in Livermore. We haven't locked our door in 30 years. Our front door. We went on vacation. Our door was left wide open. We come home. Our neighbor's like, hey, I saw your door open for a few days. I just thought you were airing out the house. That's how safe this city is. Nothing was taken. Everything was fine. Criminals tremble as they walk through this city. This is very safe. When I hear a story, when I see the madness in other countries, in other places, in other worlds, in this world, just madness. Yeah. We're either the best or the second best. Please, someone make a case for a better place. There are some places that have UBI, but you're not going to have the guns. You're not going to have the freedom of speech, maybe. UBI is cool. We don't have UBI, but we have welfare if you're broke. We have food stamps if you're broke. Do you guys have that, or do you guys just rely on the UBI? I don't know, but I would have to live probably 20 lifetimes to give you a really informed decision. I'd have to live in different places. It's kind of cringe, when someone says, well, I'm better at hockey than you are at basketball. It's like, are you? It's like, well, how do we know? It's like, you're born... Like, here's the thing. Certain countries are going to excel in other things better, Like, for example, some countries probably... Well, listen. Somebody somewhere is better than us in some area, is the point. I'm trying to find flaws in my country here. I can't really. Our country's so good. It's so good. I'm trying to think. Okay, Canada, no. I mean, we're maybe somewhere in Asia. What do we got over here? Somewhere better than America. Well, I'll tell you this. We have the best military. We have the world's reserve currency. I wonder why. I wonder why we have the world's reserve currency. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. But there was people who didn't vote for Romney. Anyways, my goal isn't to get all the votes. It's to get people fired up for politics. I want people to stop being cowards. Because we don't have a 5,000. There isn't. The righteous don't have passionate desire for the political throne. And it boggles my mind. Charlie Kirk, you got the podcast, he's like, you know what I like better than president? Podcast. Really? How about you get off your righteous butt and get real righteous? And actually get in there. What, are you afraid they're going to put a bullet through your ear? And it's not going to hit the ear this time? It's going to hit your... Great, I die, I go to heaven. Bye-bye. I go home early. Who cares? Why are people afraid to die? Why? Fear of death. They have. I don't know. What's your real excuse, Charlie Kirk? I'm not saying be president. I'm saying be presidential candidate. Take it seriously. People love you. You have these great views. You only lost that one debate, and it's because it was a short debate, and it was over a stupid topic. But you've won every other debate. Come on. Democrats, rip through them. I mean, the hard part is winning the Republican nomination. You have to beat all the smart people. For me, I'm not against the smart people. I'm going to be a Democrat. I'm not against the smarts. I'm against the hearts. And I'm going to try to win the heart of the American people. And yes, we're going to sacrifice a little bit of unrighteous freedom. But, hey. But yeah, and I'm also I'm going to be pissed when I try to get the pro-life thing and it doesn't work. Because the president doesn't have, something, there's not enough power there. I'm going to be pissed. Because I'll still be president, and I'll be pro-life. But just because I'm pro-life, it's like I'm one guy still, right? But I'm going to be pissed. I have this fantasy, because I'm pro-life, I guess the country will go along with it. Well, what if they don't? I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to say, okay. Well, now sports betting is legal nationwide. Executive order. Because if it really is a freedom issue, going into that creepy clinic with that creepy guy so you can kill one of my relatives, if that's what you guys are into because of quote-unquote freedom, guess what? Everyone in the U.S. gets to sports bet now because I want to bet money on how far that guy could throw that football. Why? Freedom. Let's be consistent. I'm going to make a lot of vows. I'm not going to make any oaths or any covenants. But I'm going to make vows. Soft vows. Red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo. Political vows. I vow to do this, And say, things could change in the future. Absolutely, things could change in the future. The one thing, my one objective stance, like I said, is pro-life. But everything could change. But I'm going to flip-flop like Romney. Or more than Romney. But I'm going to have the cabinet. The cabinet's going to decide things. But I'm going to say a lot of stuff. Different talks, different flocks, different moods. And I really do have different moods. Romney, it was like he's saying things based on his environment, and then I'm going to do it too. But there's cameras, so my environment isn't really everyone all the time. Anyways, I do want to flippity flop, but we're going to go to these other questions. Because why do you want to run for president? I love God and I love man. And the bar's been set so low. And you know what? If we have a bunch of bangers of a president, a banger of a president, and we have another good president, and another good president, and another good president, and okay, well, maybe, you know, good job, guys. You fixed up the world. You got things together. I mean, I still might do it. But the other thing is, once maybe I'll make a new channel. I'll do a political channel or something once those. I want to see the Democratic debates and I want to see the Republican debates. I'm ready for 2028 is the next one. I want to see those, I think. Anyways, let's go to the next one. What is the single most important value guiding your campaign? Yeah, it would be God is number one. My value would be my allegiance to Christ, following him, doing what he wants to do. And then after that, it's pro-life, and then it's my dynamic cabinet. So I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna be a part of the cabinet. I'm gonna have a say, but I'm gonna have like 1/15 of the say. You know, as far as policies, I'm gonna do a lot of speaking. I'm gonna be the chief citizen. I'm gonna pass a lot of the. I'm gonna do what Biden did as far as commander in chief. He wasn't a real commander in chief. I don't wanna move troops around. Like, I'm going to be a way worse commander-in-chief than Trump. I'm not going to be a real commander-in-chief. I'm going to delegate that. I don't want to do that. I want to do Purple Hearts. I'm going to be chief citizen. I might do an executive order and split the presidency into chief citizen and commander-in-chief. My VP could be the commander-in-chief, really. I'll do the Biden one thing, but that one stresses me out. I don't want to go to wars that much. You know, if we want to I'll call up Ron Paul's son, Rand Paul. you know what I mean. My cabinet can go to war and stuff. That's pretty stressful. But as far as wandering around, speaking, getting the butter, I'm more of a butter over guns. There's guns and butter. I'm more of a butter. But hey, if there's these countries breaking international war laws, I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do. We're gonna send some troops over, mess them up. I'd love to drop a bunch of food onto North Korea. This world is wicked. Did I mention that? It's a very wicked world we live in. Ephesians 5:11, expose evil. I have a toothache. Single most important value guiding your campaign: God the Father, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit. And like I said, pro-life. Who has inspired your leadership style the most? Oh, all the presidents. I like Obama. He's got that. No offense to him, but he's slick. He's a good looking dude. I'm a good looking dude. I'm very good looking. I'm tall and all that stuff. But Romney inspired me. He's an enigma. He flip-flops. You don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going to happen. I like how Obama just, he's a great speaker. Yes, we can. There's that. I like you didn't build that. Leadership. Who has inspired your leadership style the most? Yeah, Biden. I really enjoyed Biden. How he's just like, rah, 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 rah. I like that. It's basically all the bars being set so low. I want to take a little bit from every candidate and then add a lot of my own stuff. And I also study comedians because I want to be funny. Oh, Trump is tremendous, believe me. His self-parody is amazing. George Bush. We've had some great little characters up there. I just think it's time for a change, and we're going to get me. How would you describe your personality in 3 words? Oh, that's a cute one. Personality in 3 words. 1, I would say Follower of Jesus is a good one. Prayer warrior enigma. How would you describe your personality in 3 words? Bipolar schizophrenic. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, I'm all over the place, boys. What do you believe is the biggest challenge facing America in 2058? I'd say the pro-life, pro-choice thing. The fact that we're killing babies. Come on, guys. Legally. Like in the Cape of, what about in the rape and incest? There's a few options in rape and incest. You could just get the abortion illegally, break the law. If it's really a big deal to you, just try not to get caught. That's a funny answer. But the real, honestly, it's like, bring the rapist up here and we'll give him his punishment will be equivalent to what, if it's proven, if we can prove that it's the real rape and because we have if it's a rape that results in pregnancy, we'll have all that, and then we can work out. I don't mind increasing punishments on the rapists, but we're not gonna bring that punishment to the baby, right? And there's lots of, you guys can study the pro-life position, but the God and Jesus that I love and worship hates all this pro-choice, pro-abortion, pro-kill baby nonsense. And it's wicked. And in my religion, we have the highest view of babies of any religion. Like other religions, they have lower views of babies. The atheists, agnostics, yeah, they have a low view of man. I can see where they're coming from with their worldview. They're very, I guess you could say, sick in the head, wicked. But what the American people needs to realize, there's this whole, what is a woman, and, my truth, your truth. Well, here's my truth. I believe that I'm an image bearer of God. So come into my world for a second. And if you want to play chess, you have to agree before we play, the winner gets to say that they're smarter than the other person. Not to exalt myself over other people, but atheist and with the wicked people, I know I'm not going to get their vote and stuff, but what you need to realize is, if you want to kill your babies in the womb, go to Mexico, go to some other country, and you could do that. I'm not banning abortion worldwide. I don't have that power. But I do want it banned in America, and if you want to be in the United States of America, you have to follow our laws. And we have some silly laws, we have some weird laws, we have some fun laws. You have to wear seatbelts. And I don't see you guys with the same passion and energy. Why can't we drive without seatbelts if there's no one in the car? Why don't you guys have those signs out there? We want to drive, There was this it was like a free the nipple campaign. They wanted to walk around topless, these girls, as women. Well, how about free the buckle? Why don't you have that? No, because you don't mind. You don't care if the government stops you from doing stupid things if you also think it's stupid. It's not a freedom issue. It's just, you just want to kill babies in the womb. We have an adoption program. It's just wicked. Just admit it. You're wicked. I like what Bill Maher said. He says, yeah, they're saying we're killing babies, and yeah, we kind of are. I'm just okay with it. Bye. We don't need you. Bye-bye. That's what Bill Maher said. Well, in my worldview, it's a baby, and we value the babies. In my worldview, that's my truth. And if you want to, vote for the baby killer, you can vote for the baby killer over there. It's really sad, but I say if we had to pick, I think we just kill the rapist. Let's just kill the rapist. You got the baby. Or another thing, and people are going to get... this one could get really something. But I'm actually thinking about... I'm thinking about government programs to basically get a bunch of money and go to the abortion clinics and basically bribe the girls to not kill the baby, and here's some government money. I know it's kind of... I was just thinking about that, but anyways. The biggest challenge facing America... So, if I talk to my cabinet for like 30, 40 minutes, they'll show me some stuff. I'm kind of in the dark. I'm here living in heaven, here in Essex Street, Livermore, California, United States of America. I'm in heaven. I got the best dad, the only person on earth who understands me 70%. I probably understand myself 80, 90%. I don't even understand myself. I would never say I understand myself 100%. That's absurd. But I'm the most. I would say I understand myself better than most people. Never better than everyone else. But maybe I'm 80 or 70. But my dad, the point is, he's 40, 30, and everyone else is 20 and below. But I don't even understand myself. John 3:8, the Holy Spirit comes in, it goes in like the wind. And sometimes I just don't feel the Holy Spirit, and I'm covered with terrors, and this was a bad idea, this is a bad calling. But then I have this video on the YouTube, and 3 weeks later I get the Holy Spirit again. Nope, now I want to be president. So as I am president, I'm probably going to get depressed. But we're going to have cameras. It'll be a nice reality show. I want people to know that I'm doing my best. I'm delegating a lot of the power. And if you guys want the country ran a certain way, you guys can vote for my cabinet. It's not a closed cabinet. It's an open cabinet. It's a dynamic cabinet. And dynamic rules, everything's changing. If it ain't broke, break it. Biggest challenge facing America, pro-life, or whatever my cabinet says. Which past U.S. president do you admire most and why? Most, I would say George Washington. He's the one who came in. He was supposed to be king. If I was him, well, I might have done the same thing he did. He said, no, we're going to vote, and then he got 100% of the votes. People say Lincoln is the best. No, I'd say Washington. U.S. president do you admire the most and why? U.S. president? I mean, in my lifetime, I would say... In my lifetime, Trump. Yeah, I guess. It's just... People really Trumpolatry. People love him as a god, and... But man, he yeah. I did not think he was going to beat Clinton. He really surprised me, man. I did not see that coming. Clinton was, she was a 3-1 favorite. That's it? Didn't see that one coming. Good for you. Admire the most. Okay, number 7. Yeah, I do. Campaign slogan yet. I do have some. Baby Jesus is a good one. But no, it's you can't spell America without Eric. So of course, like, Eric is already built into the name America. Well, isn't that convenient? You can't even spell America without Eric. I mean, checkmate. It's like, make America pro-life again. I could copy the guy who copied the guy who has a great... I mean, I'm going to mix it up. Or how about, don't blame me, blame the cabinet. I just thought of that just now. It's not... It's I'm the Pontius Pilate president. I'm going to have a different slogan every week. That's the whole thing. It's like, what is his slogan this week? My hands are clean. Or, if the country falls apart, it's your fault. You guys are the ones voting in my cabinet. You know? I'm pro-life, and everything else is up for grabs. What's one personal accomplishment you're most proud of? I have 326 Bible verses memorized with chapter and verse. Strong paraphrase or better content. It's actually closer to 350, but I factor in the 14 that I forgot. Haven't done it. I need to do a new count. I have a very good memory for things that I like and the Bible I love so much. I have 20 perfect games, 13 are unplayed. You're going to have to believe me on that. 7 sanctioned league. I have a back-to-back 800 series for bowling, which is 2.5 times harder than a perfect game. And what else? Oh, Tetris, 45 Tetrises in a row. Guitar Hero, I have Guitar Hero scores that beat the 2009 World Championship Gaming scores, so I'm expert Guitar Hero. I was a advanced orchestra player. I played at the Stand in Granada. Most proud of. I mean, I'm a member of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's hard to get in that church. You got to get water baptized and give your life to Christ to do that. Yeah, I've been baptized in Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I was baptized into Christ alone after that. I would say whatever God is most proud of, I would synchronize with that. I don't know what God's most proud of with me. Oh, probably baptizing other people too. I baptized Julia. I baptized a homeless guy. I baptized, there's, my prayer. I would say my prayer quality, prayer quantity, the answers to prayers. A lot of that, I would say my friendship with God is number one. Personal accomplishment, as far as stuff that I could show, the trophy racks. I mean, I got that massive trophy. I have a sportsmanship trophy from 2003. I got the best sportsmanship award. That's actually a good one for the president. I say, hey guys, I was the best sportsmanship in 2003. Only one guy gets it. Making the class laugh. One personal accomplishment, man. List goes on. Wow, there's so many things. I mean, I bowled 23 strikes in a row. I ran a 29:30. No, 29, what was it? 7:40, 20, 28, 29:30 with hills. 4.2 miles. With a 6:23 best mile time. I ran back to back to back to. I ran a 6:45 mile with a 6:23 personal best. And then I ran 3 more miles where all 4 miles averaged to about 7 minutes. So I kept running my personal best over and over for 4 miles. It took me about 35 minutes to recover. That was interesting. I took third place in a poker tournament. $12,000, $260 buy-in, $12,000 I won. There's a lot of personal accomplishments. I mean, what the American people value is whatever. But I would say my depth with Christ. Now, some people might not value that, but that's what I'm most proud of. I would say how much I know the Lord. What's one major policy area you want to focus on in your first 100 days? Pro-life. And I want to do the best we can. If I can't ban it, I'll tax it, and I'll release the fund, take the funding out, tax it. But I want it illegal, and I want to punish them with fines and clinics and nature of the world. But other than that, dynamic cabinet. How do you plan to connect with young voters? Jokes is going to be great. How do I connect with them? The internet. The internet's amazing. I'll answer their questions. I think the dynamic cabinet, they're going to like that. They're going to like the new ideas. What role should technology and AI play in the future government? What role should technology and AI play in the future of government? Big time. Hey, we got technology. The technology is all over the place. The AI is all over the place. Right now, I'm using AI. Ask us questions. It can literally write bills for us. We don't have to have lawyers. We can have AI help us write it and stuff. I mean, goodness, they have so many. They have so many. Technology and AI play in the future government. Yeah, they have. There's lots of stuff going on in the government, secrets, and what role should technology and AI play? Big role. 12. What does freedom mean to you in modern America? Yeah, freedom. You can do whatever you want within reason. What does freedom mean? Well, we have laws to protect us it's kind of I was big into Ron Paul. He was a libertarian. I was watching him a lot. Ron Paul 2012, and I regret this vote so much, but I always say this, it makes me feel sick. I voted for Gary Johnson. I feel sick for that. I wanted to vote for Ron Paul. I didn't do it. I have a really sore tooth right now. How do you plan to make America more globally competitive? It's such a vague question there. Competitive, we're already dominating in so many areas. Globally competitive in what way? And the other answer is I go to the cabinet, we ask them this question, we all talk about it. We do our best there. Do you believe bipartisanship is still possible? It depends on the issue. Bipartisanship just means, hey, we're having fun, it's a give and take, and it's weird because they really want that pro-choice. And we have condoms, we have birth control, we have the pull-out method. We have, I don't really know, I'm a virgin. Oh yeah, that's another one for accomplishment that I'm proud of, is a virgin, and less than 10% of the population is a virgin. I've never had physical intercourse because I'm saving it for marriage because of the Jesus thing and the religion and the books. And when I was young and fertile, it looked like a lot of fun. People were having a lot of fun and sleeping around and girlfriend, boyfriend stuff, and it's just, I knew it was wrong, didn't really know why, but as I get older, I see people having all these regrets and soul ties and all that. But I've done masturbation, I've seen pornography, and there's a lot of dopamine there. So I basically had sex spiritually. There's a lot, and that's basically that's what fornication is. It's that probably somewhere between 10 and 150% more than what that is. Like, I get it. There's the dopamine and all that, so I understand. But you're looking at soul, in my worldview, you're looking at soul ties, Genesis. The sex is designed for marriage. But basically, there's demons behind it. In my worldview, there's they drag you to hell and all that. So it's just kind of wicked. But yeah, it's I have kept myself clean physically, at least. But it's kind of just gross, nasty stuff back there. But I know a lot of people have done that, masturbation and pornography. But do you believe bipartisanship is still pornography is just where you watch people have sex, and it's generally pretty it's generally fornication. It's very rare that they show videos of people who are married. But so this one is, what is your stance on environmental sustainability? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of pretend like I'm into the environment. No, I'm not. I don't. About that, I might lose some votes for this stance. I don't know, guys. This one, I'm going to have a very poor environmental stance. I'm just going to be honest. I don't give a flying fox about the environment. I'm a slob at the house. I leave my, I don't clean up here. I'm not. If you guys want to, guys. I don't believe global warming. God's going to keep us, He's going to bring that weather. What is your stance on environmental sustainability? Don't waste a bunch of money on it. 16. No, it's my dynamic cabinet is going to have a strong you guys can, if you guys want to defend the environment, do it. If you want to mess up the environment, do it. I'm not even going to vote. Just you guys do your thing there. Just I'll give a speech. Hey guys, this is God's earth, whatever. I'm very I'm very right. I just don't give a flying fox. Is the truth. Environmental sustainability. I mean, do I want to make it legal dumping massive, dumping trash in the ocean and ruining all the fish and all, and now it's going to hurt that, which hurts this, and then all the animals. Yeah, I guess, man. There's bigger fish to fry, as far as I'm concerned. Can we talk about something else? Like saving the babies? The environment? Okay. How we handle misinformation and AI-generated propaganda during a campaign. Love it. I'm going to create my own misinformation. I'm so clean, I need people to relate to me, so I would like it if you guys would start making up stuff, because I'm making up stuff about myself too. So just make up stuff, tell people that I have this big criminal history or something, and I'm this rah, scary guy, whatever. Right now, my problem is no one knows who I am. And I need to get out on the map. So, how you handle it? AI-generated propaganda? Yeah, it's kind of like Andrew Tate was clipped out of context, and he got really popular, and he was big for a while. He was a big thing out there. But I would rather be, feared than unknown. It's just the unknown thing. It's going to be hard to be president if no one even knows who I am. I need to be interesting. I need to be an enigma. No matter how bad somebody says I am, if all that stuff was true, I'm still not even that wicked. So, it's just, you're all wicked. Are we talking about the same guy? Like, when I was in school, we learned about this guy named Adolf Hitler. And he was elected legally. And this guy, sure, he liked German Shepherds. He handed out free walkie-talkies. But he really wasn't that great of a leader. He set up these containment camps. He killed 6 million Jews. He preferred the victory to the truth. He was just a horrible leader. I mean, what could your AI-generated propaganda possibly do to make me worse than that guy? And he was elected legally. So the morality of the candidate is really, and people are going to see through it. I mean, people who do the research but people, they're not going to like the way I speak. They're not going to like me, and, it's whatever. And you know what? I just want to say this. I have a small dick. I have a small penis. So anyone who says I have a big one, no, I have a little prick. So let's go to 17. What makes you different? Oh my goodness. What makes me different, huh? Well, I'm not a politician. I'm bipolar schizophrenic. I think you could just go back in the video. I'm very unique. I'm good at everything. I win. There's a lot of winning. I'm the best at everything I do and all that stuff. And sure, a lot of that has to do with my opponents being weaker. We're all humans. We're all fragile. But I'm really good at everything, and I'm going to have the dynamic cabinet. That makes me different. People who want to vote on policy, you'll at least get you'll get some variety out of me. You'll get some changes. People who want to see change in government, you'll get me. That's a lot of change. Who would you ideally want as running mate? Why? Here's a really good question. I don't know. Running mate. I want to get someone different than me. I don't want to get another, super squeaky clean, guy that's good at everything. No. I don't know. Give me somebody that's pro-life, loves the Lord, who's, I don't know, someone with a great reputation. Maybe, I don't know. My running mate. Someone who give me 20 choices and I'll sit down with them and pray for them 3 hours each. The one who I think has the best prayer life. We'll just pray together. See how that goes. 19. How do you want history to remember your presidency? Good and faithful servant. He did good. He saved a lot of babies. He did the best he could with what he had. He listened to... listen. Donald Trump, there's not a lot of guys talking down on Donald Trump. Donald Trump, big boy. What did you just say to me? I'm not going to be like that as the president. I'm going to say, what did you just say to me? Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to be humble and submissive and gentle, easy to be entreated, full of patience and long-suffering, being temperate in all things, being diligent, keeping the commandments of God at all times, both spiritual and temporal, always returning thanks for the things which I do receive. Alma 7:23, it's in the Book of Mormon. 20. If you lose, will you run again? Absolutely. And this is how you know AI has mistakes. There is no election in 2058. The election's in 2056 and 2060. He just believed me that 2058 was an election year. It's not. So that's why you got to fact check things. And that's the thing. People are going to say, oh, I thought Eric had a big dick. No, do you guys want to see it right now? It's a little dick. Small penis. We run again, yes. Absolutely. We're going to run again until we do it right. But it's got to be a successful run, and then we're going to run again. And I want to inspire young people who are 35, 36, 37, 38 years old, who are professional video game players or whatever you guys do, TikTok stars, and come out here and run for president, because that's what George Washington wanted. Stop enough with the two-party congressman monopoly. We're going to break in as young people. Okay? And if you guys do it, then I won't need to run. But if no one's going to do it, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep yelling until it gets done. 5 extremely difficult questions. Sure they are. These are meant to stimulate real-world presidential debate challenges, media traps. Listen, I fear the Lord. I don't fear man. What can you possibly hit me with? I have 326 Bible verses memorized. Come on. What do you got? National crisis question. A hostile nation launches a cyber attack, disabling America's financial... Yeah, sure you did. A hostile nation takes over America and cyber attack. Markets crash. Hospitals lose access to records. And public panic is rising. As president, what is your 1-hour response strategy? Well, I'm either praying off video or I'm praying on video. But the answer is we're praying, and we're all praying together. We pray for wisdom. James 1:5, let he who lacks wisdom ask of God. I go to the cabinet, and I'm going to have 1/16 of the vote, or whatever, however big my cabinet is. It's going to be a big cabinet, then it's going to be little, then it's going to be big. It might just keep getting bigger. If the American people don't really want to vote anyone off, I'll just keep getting a bigger and bigger cabinet, and I'll have less and less power. But listen, there's a cyber attack. The financial system is going down. There's so many experts in so many fields. I just want to be president. I just work here, you guys. Listen, I'm the musician. Okay? I already told the American people, what would Trump do? He'd ask for help. Well, guess what? I'm doing the same thing. It's a national crisis question. What is your 1 hour response strategy? Answer phone calls, move phone calls. If the VP says, hey, trust this, I have webs of, there's so many people in government. So many people. Let's go to number 2. Oh, here we go. Moral dilemma. But that was easy. Ask for help. 2. Moral dilemma question. Congress presents you with a bill that would guarantee economic stability. Guaranteed. But would severely limit free speech online. Hell no. Hell no. Citing it would prevent financial collapse. Yeah, sure it would. Vetoing it risks nationwide unrest. What do you do, and how do you justify it? Hell no. Congress presents you with a bill that would guarantee economic stability, but would severely limit free speech online. Hell no. Rip that thing up. Straight from the pits of hell. I'd pray for the bill. No matter what prayer position I used, the Lord would veto that. Get the flying fox out of my... The First Amendment is freedom of speech. We need free speech online. Guarantee economic... Yeah, I'm sure. If you look up and you see a bunch of food falling from the sky, guess what? I'm still not signing that bill. Severely limit free speech. What a joke. Yeah, and it's also a spot where I'd be yelling at my cabinet. If American people sent me 15 wankers or 30 wankers and all the righteous people got voted off, we're going to fist fight as well. No, I'm not going to let my dynamic cabinet... you guys can sign it. The president's not signing this one. So, let's go to number 3. That's not much of a moral dilemma. That's just stupid. Foreign policy trap. 2 major U.S. allies are on the brink of war, and both ask for your military support. Supporting one risks alienating the other, but refusing both risks global destabilization. How do you decide? I call up Charlie Kirk. He gives me 3 options. I pray for it. Don't tell anyone, but I might flip a coin between 2 of them. I tell Charlie Kirk. He prays. I pray. I flip another coin. Go to my cabinet. Again, I'm not, I don't really want to be commander-in-chief, but we're on the brink of war. Let's go to number 4. Scandal management. See how great it is having all this help and the dynamic cabinet? I mean, Trump has a very strong opinion, but is Trump better than Charlie Kirk? I mean, he was born rich. Charlie Kirk, he earned a lot of that money. Are you going to tell me that, I mean, is Trump more powerful than Kirk? Yes. Is he better? I mean, Charlie Kirk's pretty cool. You know, is he better than my entire cabinet? Trump has a nice cabinet too, but it's not dynamic. The American people, they feel left out with these big decisions. And I think if they send me, Britney Spears or something, they'll feel like, oh, we kind of went to war, yeah. Scandal management, 2 months before Election Day. Damaging but false information about your personal life goes viral. Amplified by AI-generated deepfakes. Millions believe it. How do you respond publicly while keeping your credibility intact? I'm going to have sex with my wife on camera. And I'm going to try to get her to moan as loud as possible. At least get him to laugh. 2 months before... Oh, it's 2 months before Election Day. Damaging but false information about your personal life goes viral. Well, I probably created it. So I'll say, well, is there any evidence that I didn't make this up? Because I want you guys to know whatever this personal life stuff is. Amplified by AI-generated deepfakes. Millions believe it. How do you respond publicly while keeping your credibility intact? Let's do a lie detector. Let's make a video. I don't know. Maybe somebody somewhere doesn't want me to be president. I'm lucky to be alive. That's how you know this country is the best country in the world. Somebody made this. Amen. I mean, praise God. Whenever I hear an owl go, "Rrr," I always say praise God. Great timing there. I should be dead, you guys. They just in any other country, I'm dead. But you guys have to do all this deep fake stuff. Millions believe it. Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, Kamala Harris, such a sweetie. Such a sweetheart. She looks exactly like my ex, just not as beautiful. But same skin tone and old. I do not have anything to say about Kamala Harris right now. I do not. Future Vision Challenge. In 2058, AI, robotics, and space colonization dominate global economics. Good for you guys. You know, I remember when we used to watch Terminator. It's like, no way. I was like, oh yeah, way. Dominating global economics. Oh, thank God. My chef is here. It's Smart House, you guys. What is your 50-year vision for America's place in the world? And how do you ensure the country thrives in a highly competitive technological future? Yeah, we're going to dominate all that. I mean, if I was in another country, if I was born in another country, how are we going to compete with America? Well, we're not. But I'm an American. How are you going to stay on that throne? Well, what is your 50-year vision? I'm only going to be president for 4 years, you guys. How will you ensure the country? This is not the president's job to speculate on AI, robotics, and I mean global economics. We print money out of thin air if we need it, and we pay an inflation tax. Or the American people pay the inflation tax. We have crypto now. There's lots of crypto, and there's going to be lots of little cryptos. A lot of them are going to crash. And you guys can have your little cryptos. And you guys can do your little digital money. And we have gold and silver. We're rich. We're dripping with riches compared to everybody else. The problem we have in this country is we don't have the Spirit of God. We don't know the Lord. We don't pray anymore. The prayer was ripped out of the schools. I'd love to sign bills like that. Hey, let's get the Bibles in the schools again. Let's put them back in the libraries. I just had some thoughts. I'm not going to say them, though. If you want, I can simulate a live 2058 presidential debate next, where I play the role of the moderator, rival candidates and reporters, and put you under real-time pressure with layered follow-ups. That would let us test your composure, strategy, and messaging discipline like an actual campaign. Yes. Yes, do it. Here we go. Toodaloo, poof. All right, Eric, let's do a full 2058 U.S. presidential debate simulation. Here we go. You're a leading candidate for president. Oh, thank God. I'll act as the moderator, rival candidates, and journalists. Here we go. This simulation will test your policy depth. I'll mix easy, brutal, and trap questions. Here we go. Just like a television debate. Here we go. Toodaloo, poof. 2058 presidential debate. Audience, 120 million live viewers. That's a lot. 90 minutes format. The candidates, you plus 2 rivals. Senator, great. We got a senator and a governor. Easy. Well, that was easy. It's like, no wonder why I'm winning. Oh my goodness. Round 1, opening statements, 1 minute. Moderator, Mr. Smythe, welcome to the stage. You're running to be the 55th president of the United States. Voters want to know, what is your core vision for America in 2058? Give us your 1 minute opening statement. I just want to say that I'm an image bearer of God. I'm the most beautiful person on stage. A lot of you guys already know that, and you're going to vote for looks. Don't vote for looks, vote for policy. And my policy is this, pro-life. Okay, I already won all the righteous votes. Now I want to speak to the unrighteous in this country. I'm going to have a dynamic cabinet, and there's going to be 16 people. There's going to be 20, 30, 40 people. And you guys are going to vote them in, and they're going to make all my policies. I already won all the righteous votes, but hey, for the unrighteous, I just want to let you guys know I'm still going to be better than those other people because of this dynamic cabinet. What is your core vision? My core vision, there's micro UBI. You guys are going to get a bunch of free money. There's other guys aren't going to do it. If they do have any good policies at any point, it's because they stole mine. Okay, that was a horrible 1 minute opening statement, but for whatever reason, I don't know. That first joke bombed. That didn't really go very well. What is your core vision for America? I might pray in real time if I was actually in this. I might talk very soft and very slow. It depends how the Spirit leads me, how the Holy Spirit leads me. But for a simulation, and I'm on a YouTube video, it's not a real. But I'll say, but it's just interesting, right? You have to feel out the room, and you have to feel out, you have to feel everything out. I might use silence a lot too. James 1:19 says, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak," and there's a time and a place for everything. And I'll say, I'm on live TV right now. We just experienced 4 seconds of silence. It's beautiful. I think we need to slow down and think, America. Think about what we're doing. Think before we speak. Think before we move. You see? And with my cabinet, I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking before I move. And I'm going to listen to people. I worked at the Granada Bowl, and I listened to everyone who yelled at me and told me to do things. And that's how it's going to be at the highest level. I'm not going to be Donald Trump who tells everyone to do things. I'm actually going to be a president that's going to be very obedient to the righteous. And as the new cabinet comes in through the voting system, the dynamic cabinet voting system that I'm going to enable, there's going to be celebrities who I might think are wicked, and I'm going to respect them because they were given to me as this is what America wants, a person like this, and I'm going to listen to them, and we're all going to brainwash each other. Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron. So there's one man sharper than another. And we're going to be friends. And there is going to be bipartisanship. But if you guys say something stupid, I'm going to call you out as well. Proverbs 27:5, open rebuke is better than love in secret. The bipartisanship, maybe we're not going to have so many friendly agree to disagree. But anyways, so now at that point, it's more than a minute. But opening statements, great. Whatever happens there. I pretty much have an unbeatable, I'm pretty much unbeatable as it is because people don't trust, no one trusts anyone. You can trust me. I got the whole Bible memorized. Over 1% of the Bible, with chapter and verse. Let's go to round 2. So he's going to say whatever his pre-planned thing was. Maybe I lost that round. We don't know. Round 2, domestic policy, easy to meet him. Here we go. Moderator, Mr. Smythe, inflation remains... Oh, my goodness. Inflation remains high. Yeah, well, anyways. Let's hear the whole question. Inflation remains high even with quantum dollar stabilization policies. Housing is unaffordable for millions. And automation has eliminated 40% of traditional jobs. What is your plan to restore economic security for working Americans? What is my plan to restore economic security for working Americans? Okay, so first of all, we're rich, and we're dripping in riches. People, look at the other countries in the world. They're the ones who are struggling. What we need is God. We already have all the money and all this stuff. I understand, like, people are dumb. Well, not dumb, but they have a lot of debt. And there's a lot of debt, leveraging, and credit cards and all that. You feel like you're broke, but you go to the cabinet and it's food. And you run out of money, and then you can't pay the credit cards, and then you dump the credit cards, and then you, quote unquote, declare bankruptcy, which is telling the world that you're a brokey. And that's what economic collapse is for us. And then you go to your nice little house, and I understand people, don't live in California and stuff, but when I look around America and I look around the rest of the world, we're really not broke. But if you want a more serious, inflation remains high. You do realize that the wages follow with inflation. Inflation is 96% since 1907, and the Federal Reserve the Federal Reserve was cut off, and inflation's been high. It's inflation everywhere. The prices go up 100% over 10 years, and the wages go up 100% over 10 years. There's no inflation. Inflation is if you hold the dollars for 10 years, then you're an idiot. You didn't invest it in gold and silver, which also doubled. There's no inflation. The inflation tax is 1% a month. Get over it. Don't hold. Inflation is not a tax on the poor. It's a tax on the dollar. Don't hold dollars if you don't want it inflated. Hold assets. Inflation is a myth. It's stupid. Never say anything like that to me ever again. Housing is unaffordable for millions, and automation has eliminated 40% of traditional jobs. What is your plan? Yeah, like the president of the United States of America is responsible for all this crap. No, figure it out, you guys. Do it. Free market. Do it. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise the taxes to 99%. No. Free market. Do it. I'm a libertarian now. I'm going to go to my cabinet. They're somehow going to know more than me, and then I'm going to listen to them. I could say that to every question. Let's talk about something else. Let's get this over with. I win. It's over. Dynamic cabinet. It's over. Done. My opponent is a joke compared to... Does he have a dynamic cabinet? Because if he has a dynamic cabinet, now... Oh, man. Whew. Wow. Now I got to start dressing up. Now I got to start getting my... Now I have to start wearing a tie to the debates. Now it's a beauty contest. Oh, my goodness. He has a dynamic cabinet? Wow. Senator Ruse. Eric talks about innovation, but where is his plan for people who've been left behind by AI-driven corporations? If you can't guarantee Americans a stable livelihood, why should they trust you with the presidency? The President of the United States cannot guarantee Americans with a stable livelihood. I'm not a dictator. I'm not a king. I'm a president. And I'm a chief citizen, and I'm the prom king. It's like, yeah, well, what's the prom king going to do for me? I mean, it's like, he's the prom king, bro. If you can't guarantee it, why should we trust you with the presidency? Because I have a dynamic cabinet. It's trustless. It's like I understand the president's picking up more responsibilities and stuff, but it's like, AI. Listen, we used to have call centers. You call into the call center, right? Say, hey, what's up? Those people don't exist anymore. Truck drivers, they're not going to exist. We're going to have automated trucks. Guess what? Do something else. We used to have people with shovels digging stuff. Well, their jobs are gone now. Okay, great. Do something else. I have UBI. I'm going to... Here, you know what the real answer is? I have Andrew Yang's UBI, except it's not $1,000 a month. It's like $500. But we stack it on top of welfare. Everyone gets it. Yes, even the rich people get it. I just wanted to make it easy. It's going to load it into the ID cards. But if you guys really don't want me to give it to the rich, that's fine. If you make $200K and below per year, you'll get the $500 a month UBI. Okay, so the UBI is going to give you a lively, stable hood. That was easy. And I think I won that round. Round 3, foreign policy, defense, high stakes. Okay, my dad's home. Foreign policy, defense. China and Japan, new space resource alliance controlling 7% helium extraction. Analysts warn this threatens U.S. energy independence. As commander-in-chief, how do you respond without triggering a resource war? Foreign policy and defense. Yeah, again, and I said this earlier. Anyway, this is going to be the end of the video. But we're going to the dynamic cabinet, as you guys might expect. The commander-in-chief... I'm a bipolar schizophrenic. I just work here, you guys. I'm here to speak. I'm here to save the babies. Eric, save us. Okay, I'm saving you. Stress test. This might be fun. Oh, it's another quantum cyber attack, and somehow people are taking down America. This is very realistic, you guys. This is the hypotheticals here, but this simulation is dynamic, just like my cabinet. Anyways, don't vote for me. Vote for Jesus Christ. Say the name of Jesus Christ, man.